so.
Ready to begin?
Yeah, should I scoot closer to you?
If you want. I
feel like I should be close.
Okay.
But I like being close to you.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Aw,
oh, boy.
barf.
So many people throw up before they... Hey, everybody. Welcome to Living the Scream.
The behind the scenes of The Mummy and the Monkey. We are resellers by day. We're horror hosts by night. And I'm Janet.
I'm James.
And half of this podcast talks about behind the scenes, like reselling and our day jobs and what's going on in our lives. And the other half talks about our movie hosted show, our horror host show.
Yes.
The Mummy and the Monkey's Harry Scary Hangout. And we stream that weekly, mostly weekly, Friday nights at 10 p.m. on our Facebook fan page.
That's right. And if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out because it's a whole lot of fun, man. We show bad B movies, scary movies. Well, scary, as scary as we can find them that are public domain and or science fiction, whatever. I mean, we showed a sci-fi movie last week.
Yeah, but we'll discuss that more during the second half of the podcast, and we will have all the links of our information in the video description. So hit like and hit subscribe if you desire, and we do appreciate it.
That's right. So,
or hit dislike. That's okay too.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about now?
So, we're going to cough a lot. No, we're going to talk about eBay. I am so livid right now with eBay. So they started a new thing, and when I go to my Seller Hub screen, to the left it has kind of like a to-do list, things that you need to do, updates, that sort of thing. On the Seller Hub screen there, it says that I have almost 200 listings that have item specifics that are required soon.
Whoa.
And then underneath that, I have 700 items where they recommend more item specifics added. Now, item specifics are they're supposed to help with, if you're searching for an item, it's supposed to narrow it down to certain things. Like, let's say I'm looking for a pair of red shoes. Okay, well, do I want the shoes to be fabric, or do I want the shoes to be leather? Do I want the shoes to be high heels? Do I want the shoes to be flat, maybe lace-up sneakers? Do I want the shoes to be slippers or red boots? The item specifics are supposed to narrow it down and help you, the buyer, look for your items, which is fine. It's totally normal and acceptable to have some of that. But here's the thing. When I originally listed most of these items, I had the information in there. So I have a bunch of shoes, going back to shoes, I had a bunch of shoes where when I made the listing, I put the size in, I put the type of shoe in, the fabric, all of that. I had all of that information there, and now eBay is telling me that I don't, but it's there.
It was there.
It's there now. When I right click on the link, and you'll see this, I'm going to upload a separate YouTube video kind of showing this a little bit and me complaining. It does have the size on there. So what I'm not understanding is, why do we have to go back in and do double the work when it's already very time consuming to list a pair of shoes or to list a piece of clothing, because of all the item specifics that they demand. And then when you go on other selling platforms, and I'm not a big fan of Poshmark, but when you go on Poshmark, it's super easy to list something. When you go on Mercari, it's very simple to list things. I don't know why eBay is making it more difficult.
You think it's they know that you have to do this as a reseller, Do they do this because they want to discourage smaller resellers from entering the game or continuing in the game? Or is it just very a corporate thing? Like you said, if I'm looking at an item and I can't tell, it doesn't say in the title that it's a leather shoe, let's say, but it is leather. And it doesn't say it in the title or the item description. I mean, how is a buyer supposed to know? They can email you, obviously, and ask you what the upper is and everything.
Or you could put it in the item description,
right.
Yeah.
But you're
or
mad because you had it in there already, you're saying.
Yeah, here's the thing. I had that information in there when I first made the listing. So some of my listings might be older, maybe a few months ago, maybe a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago. I'm very patient, and I have like stuff that does sell, even though it takes a while. Sometimes I do take listings out and just end up donating them. It all depends on what's going on and if I'm going through my inventory or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I let stuff sit, but it will sell eventually. But like, why do I have to go in and put the size in again? Put the shoe width again? Put in that it's a leather shoe? Like, I had most of that information already there. And they're making sellers do double the work. And now they're lying about it. So, like, what the F, eBay? Because I called, well, you can't even call eBay anymore. Now you have to request a representative to call you. So a representative called me, and I spoke to a representative twice this week, all within like a week. They told me it was a glitch.
Shove off.
And that they were working on it, and it's a bug, and don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, a few days go by, and there's more listings added to the pile that I have to supposedly fix. I had them call again. And they said, oh, it's a glitch. I'll put a note in. It's okay.
No.
Well, but today when we both signed into eBay, what did you see?
Well, I've seen this for a while. But I just pointed out, because the reason I brought this up is because you said you spoke to some other reseller, or you saw other resellers talking about this on a Facebook group, right?
Yeah, there's some reseller Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I did put in the Ohio reseller group. I did say, like, is anyone else annoyed with these item specifics? Like, what's going on? And some people are saying that, yeah, they are doing an update, but they want you to put all that in. Mm-hmm. Some people are saying that, yeah, it's an update. The reps are lying. They're just saying that to get you off the phone.
That's a glitch.
That it's a glitch. Well, but it's really like one of their updates that they're going to make you do.
So it has to be, because I don't know when glitches and things like that started designing graphics, static graphics that appear on a page before you get to your seller page that say you'll have to update item specifics before a certain date. And I say a graphic, it's like a meme. There's like a little static ad or graphic on the page before you click on, before you're able to access your seller's page on eBay, with a little, piece of clip art of different items. It's a designed graphic. So a glitch can design a graphic to tell you that this item specific stuff needs to be put in. No,
I have a feeling eBay is messing up. They're making us do the work for their mess ups, because, like I said, I had most of that information already in there.
Wow.
And now they're making sellers go back in and put in all that information again. It's all data entry. So I'm going to sit there for hours and do data entry. And this is stuff that I already spent hours on previously to get it listed. So I'm very upset by this and really annoyed, because they're hurting people. They're hurting sellers, and it's discouraging, because when you hear about this, it makes people not even want to sell on eBay. And there are days now where I'm thinking, I might have to pull a lot of items from my eBay store and put them on another website.
You won't.
Well, I did start to put things on Mercari.
Couple things.
Yeah. So it's in the so there's certain categories where it seems worse than usual. So like shoes, the item specifics are a little too crazy on there. Mm-hmm. And then the records, some of the media, because they want to know, like, let's say I'm going to list a VHS tape. Now they want to know the studio, who the actors are in it, who directed it. It's like too much. All that if you know the movie and want to see the movie, you know what's on there.
You're actually treating it like you're in a store browsing and just going, oh, look at this movie. I wonder who's in. They want it to be so literal, like it's virtual. All the information will give you everything you need to know.
Meanwhile, if there's
whether you know it or not,
movie you're interested in, you could just Google the name of the movie,
right,
and it has all that info on Wikipedia or IMDb. Like, why do you have to put that in on eBay? And I think it could be just eBay trying to be more corporate, trying to be more like Amazon. And the current CEO, I guess, used to work for Walmart as a corporate guy. So, and they are making, so we don't really sell adult material, but they are getting rid of and banning adult material on eBay. So that includes, like, we know people who would sell vintage pinup magazines.
Includes Japanese, some Japanese stuff, like the comic books and stuff.
Some adult material that might be, like the Japanese comics.
That has like really adult stuff in it.
Yeah, which, eBay was like the online flea market.
Wow.
With all these different categories that you could choose from. And that's what made eBay very unique. And there's some sellers, like I said, we don't sell adult content, but there are some people who made a living out of selling adult-themed magazines or books, stuff like that. And now they won't be able to sell on eBay anymore. So it's just very upsetting that they're making all these changes and making it more difficult for someone who's a seller. And I think it's going to hurt eBay in the long run. I think their sales are going to plummet.
Well, the cool thing about eBay originally was that you go there. I remember I was listening to some old tapes, audio tapes of radio shows I taped back in the late 90s, and that's when eBay was all new. Mm-hmm. And there were like commercials for them. They would do commercials for them. And all he talked about is how you go on there to find that unique thing, that strange, out of the way thing you can't find anywhere else. Amazon's where you go to find whatever you need. Like, I need gloves, I need, cat litter, whatever. You can find all that stuff on it. It's very...
Yeah, Amazon sells a lot of,
They sell weird stuff, but not as much as...
It's mostly new things, and it's very, it's like essentials.
Yeah, exactly. But in eBay was the place where you go to get the stuff that you just can't... Like you said, a flea market, where you just can't find it at Walmart or in a regular, in a big box type of store, or any kind of, like, retail store.
Yeah, eBay is supposed to be that place where you can find those hard to find vintage items, those collectibles,
or strange things,
or unusual things. And now they're making it difficult.
Yeah, and it's changing. It's like it wants to be more.
It's too corporate.
Amazon. And
it's too. They're trying to be too much like Amazon.
And we're getting weird. Like I just today I sold something for a decent amount of money. But the guy wanted it shipped overnight. It's like that's like an Amazon mentality. Be there the next day. Like we have us personally, not eBay, but like we have these distribution centers all over the country that we could just pull that item. It's not that's not how we work. Mm-hmm. We don't have that, and eBay doesn't have that type of thing. Like
and because these
Amazon
items
does.
are so different and unique on eBay that we sell. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a distribution center.
Right.
And when we set up the shipping in the listings, we set it up for regular standard shipping. Like, I don't do overnight shipping. And that's the problem you encountered recently, is someone bought a thing, they paid regular standard shipping, and they're expecting you to ship it overnight.
Well, because I didn't offer that, and I never, ever would offer that, because it's a hassle. Number one, I'd have to run out to a FedEx or a USPS or UPS, because I don't think USPS would even do that. You can't rely on them to send something overnight, and it costs a fortune. I mean, this guy, the order is in Oregon, the items. I canceled the item, which I should have done, but I did, in hopes that I could actually, like you had suggested, relist the item and include overnight shipping as the only option to buy this thing.
Yeah, but because with managed payments, you can't invoice them on PayPal. That's considered contact outside of eBay.
Right.
And then that can ding your eBay account now, because they're not really using PayPal anymore for payments.
Yeah. So, and when I looked at how much it would cost to ship this thing, it was like anywhere from $60 to $145,
and that's cutting into your money.
No, I mean, you have to pay that extra.
Yeah. No. Well, it would be if you did that. If you were like, okay, and just shipped it.
Oh God, yeah. It would be it could be almost as much as the damn thing cost.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a $150 item. And it would cost $140 to ship it. Why would I overnight? No. I mean, I'm not paying for that.
No way.
So
it's unreasonable.
Yeah, and the reason why we brought this up was I just lost my train of thought about
what were we
shipping stuff. But yeah, because I think people now are becoming a little like they're becoming very. We talked about this before, kind of unrelated, but how Amazon people think everything is Amazon.
Yeah, because when they
get it the next day sometimes.
The Amazon people that do buy from eBay, they think, ship this fast, and we do technically ship things pretty fast.
Yeah.
Whatever we sell, we usually ship the next day. Whatever sells over the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday, we will ship on Monday.
Yeah, and depending how geographically close you are to us, you'll receive it as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, so it's not like we just take forever to ship something out. We like to send things out as soon as we can.
We have a 2-day time, but we usually ship it out the next day.
Yeah, we have a 2-day handling time, but I ship it usually the next day. I only do the 2-day handling time in case if...
Yeah.
So
anything can happen.
Yeah, in case if something happens and we can't ship that day, then we could go the next day.
Right. So, yeah. So things like that pop up, and I think it's due to the fact that people are so used to getting stuff the next day from Amazon, literally in a day or two. And it's cool. I've done it before. I love ordering something that goes, "We can have this to you tomorrow because you're a Prime member." I'm like, really? This thing, and sometimes it's not the most common thing, but so it must be close. It must be at some local distribution center. They can just have it to the door.
I mean, for some new stuff, for some, like there's a certain toothbrush refill I like to order on Amazon. But, for vintage, rare items, of course I'm going to, check eBay if I were a buyer. Yeah. eBay or Etsy.
So, yeah, it gets kind of weird. And we're talking about, like, the corporate thing, like, and what people are expecting sometimes. I think the Amazon buying experience has really, really made eBay feel like they have to keep up with, like they have to be able to compete with that. Not only with shipping but with item specifics. Based back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
About as much information as you can, because all that stuff, a lot of that stuff is brand new. All that stuff exists. That data entry was already done by someone else. These guys these people just plug it into their products, and then boom, it's out there. Us little resellers, I mean, we have to, like you said, data input all this data for one item. If it takes 10 minutes to list something,
most of the information crazy. I already put in.
Well, that's different, yeah.
What is really annoying me right now is they want me to go and do double the work. And I could be listing something new. I could be doing something more productive.
Right, so the glitch isn't the fact that the system created item specifics. The glitch is that any of the information that you or anyone else had initially,
they want you to put in again.
Yeah.
So there's other people in the reselling group saying they're going to wait a week to see if they do correct anything before they actually go in to fix anything. I might do the same, but I am noticing my sales suck. Like, my sales have dropped by like $400, $500
a minute.
It's lower than what it would normally be.
Yeah.
And of course, when I say numbers like that, that doesn't include taxes, fees, and cost of goods sold.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, and mine's so erratic. I had actually a good night last night, a decent one for me. But you get those little weird things like people wanting stuff that it's not included, like an overnight shipping option. It's like, don't buy it and then want it overnight. I can't do it. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I've never shipped anything overnight.
Yeah,
and with the managed payments, it's just more difficult. I mean, what you could do if you wanted to is add, when you do the shipping, I think you can add a second shipping service and then have Express on there, but almost no one wants things overnighted like that.
Not for that price, anyway.
And with a 2-day handling time, you can't really overnight something.
And you got to be able to be sure that you can run out to that distribution
before the cutoff time.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have to know when that was, and that way, what.
And then it depends when they actually buy the item.
Yeah, if someone buys it at 4:00 in the afternoon, you're not going to get it tonight. You're going to get it the next day.
The next day, it'll actually be later than what?
2 days later, technically. So
speaking of late, we're a day late getting the podcast out.
Yeah, that's okay.
I did 40 eBay listings the day before. And I guess we were on a roll, and I just totally forgot.
That's all right. Yeah, I did a couple, and like I said, I sold some really good items that I just listed last night. One of them was a Barney DVD. It was for Video Now Junior.
Oh, it's like
It's a player, right?
A kid's video player.
But it's
Those
a regular
were
size DVD.
from the late 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s. Video now.
But it's one of those weird things that I put up. It's just a single episode on a regular size type of DVD that's for a specific Video Now Junior player. But I paid 30 cents for it, and I put it up for $74.99 free ship, and it sold like overnight. That's kind of weird. Makes me wonder how much it was really worth. But hey, 30 cents into $75.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really good. So that's going out, and a couple electronics that I picked up at the VOA a few weeks ago. That comped really nice. Souls were really cool on them. And I just didn't list them till last night. And the one sold for $150. I paid $2 for that. Some kind of converter from some connection. I think it's I don't know what the connector, but it goes out as a Ethernet thing. It's a little tiny thing. It's a link type of like a little. Looks like a beeper. And that sold. But then I had to refund the guy because he wanted it overnight. We'll see what happens there. And then I sold a little. It's by Radio Shack. It's a little talking radio cube from the early 1980s or something like that. I paid $3 for that, I think, or $4 at the most, but it sold for $150.
Wow.
To a guy in Arizona, so it's going out to him. And something else, another little sort of like networking computer, sort of like junction box, and that went for I had it up for $350, and someone offered me $250 for it. I paid $3 for it, $4 for it, something like that, $3 something, and that sold for $250. I took the offer, but they haven't paid for it yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds like you had a better week than me.
Well, that's just in one night. Let's see what today, what else holds, for the rest of the week. What the rest of the week holds, I should say.
Do you have item specifics on yours
tons.
too?
Yeah, same amount, like hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah. I can tell you, I got my phone right here. Oh, something came through. Get ready to ship something. They bought it again.
With the regular
shipping. I just can't. Yeah, I'm sorry. So no. Oh, yeah, it's going to the same guy. Just do it, dude. I'll send it out today. Now I got to run to the post. Well, can I make it to the post office today? I don't know.
They're closing soon.
In an hour.
Send it out tomorrow. Ugh. They're closing soon.
So there you go. He could have had it out. I was going to run out before we did this podcast, but now he's going to wait.
Well, he'll just have to wait.
We'll see. I might be able to get under the wire, but it wouldn't even matter. It's not going to go anywhere tonight, so it'll go out in the morning. I'll run it out in the morning. But yeah, there it goes. Paid ship now, $150. Look at that.
Well, they can't look. This is audio.
I know. I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. I see. I understand.
They can get it. So I have 278 ad item specifics required soon.
272?
78.
278.
857 ad recommended item specifics.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
That's insane.
eBay, seriously? Why? I'm just feeling like so upset by this.
Yeah, vintage Imperial 1980s Triceratops dinosaur toy. Required soon. Type.
It's a toy. What else is there to...
Now, what people don't know...
Here, read off some of the specifics.
Or really quick, but what we didn't... I don't know if we clarified. Now, what's... Okay, so what? You have to put item specifics. What are you crying about? What's the big deal? Are they saying they're going to drop these items if they're not updated?
I have a feeling they will if they're not.
That's bullshit. I mean,
so I've had some items dropped from eBay before.
For what? Because item specifics? Where's that one from?
No, not because of that. Over time, sometimes they just drop your inventory. So you have to double check some of your older listings see if they're still on.
So my question is, what is the problem? So ignore it. So why get upset over it? Just if they're not going to delete your item.
What if they delete 200 of your items?
That's my question. Will they do that? Do we know?
I have a feeling they probably will.
We don't know though.
We don't know for sure, but it sounds like we don't know a lot, and they're not even telling you anything.
But they ask you this. They're saying, "Hey, required soon, or else what?"
We don't know, so we can't assume really. But I have a feeling they're going to drop. That's my gut that they're just going to drop listings.
So I had to type.
And in the long run, they're going to lose sales. eBay is going to lose sales from this because they're affecting the sellers. It's affecting the seller's inventory. Well, why wouldn't any business care if they're going to lose money?
Not until it affects their bottom line. They do all these calculations and stuff, and they figure
they're gonna lose lots of money.
They probably figure
they're making some terrible decisions.
You're gonna do what we want you to do, because it's almost like when I was working, at a place, and sometimes you complain about, someone might complain about their, position or things like that, and then they go, well, be lucky that you have a job. You should be happy you're working. You have a job. It's like, I want to be happy at my job, not happy that I have a job. Yes. It's two different things to me. And it's sort of when
any boss says that, or any company talks like that, that's not a good thing for them to say.
But I think that is what's being said in so many words with stuff like this. What do you complain about? It's your own business. Just do that. This is what we ask of you. We do have sort of a
There's
boss.
Other websites, though. There are selling platforms.
But will enough people migrate?
I'm going to try to put more listings on Mercari. I will.
Are they taking advantage of the fact that...
And eBay will lose money over time because more sellers will try to go elsewhere. Maybe they'll put stuff on Facebook because it's easier to put things on there.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Like maybe they'll try other sites. I know for like some of the trendy vintage clothing, there's more like cool younger people putting things on Depop. Hey. And that... they're more likely to shop on the trendier sites than maybe old clunky eBay. So only time will tell. I mean, we'll see what goes on in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting and nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Yeah, eBay. Well, I'm real passive with this stuff. Go with the flow.
I don't. I am upset about this. I was, cool about it with the managed payments. I was on board with that. I was on board with some item-specific changes last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not okay with this. This is too much. It's getting out of hand.
Well, I don't think they're just going to press a button and make everything okay.
Well, I didn't say they were. I said it's going to be nerve-wracking and interesting.
If anyone out there knows we can probably look it up. Is there a penalty for not, item-specific, adding those item specifics on eBay?
Yeah, the penalty will be they might drop your listings.
It's bad.
I don't know for sure, but I'm going with my gut. I have a feeling they're going to drop people's listings. So there's that.
There's that in so many words.
There's that. So we'll just keep trying. We'll keep trying and see how it goes. And I think for some of the records, some collectibles, I might try Mercari. I did sell a few little things on there, which is good. And their label system seems easy to use. But I noticed on there they don't have media mail shipping. So if you're selling vinyl or a VHS, you have to ship it through first class as long as it's under £1. You can ship first class on Mercari. And I think they even do discounted shipping on there too. But you have to print their label. Like, before you do the listing, you have everything kind of programmed in there. And then as soon as it sells, you print the label. You don't, like with eBay, after something sells, you can go in and put in the measurements and the weight and everything.
So when was this? This was 5/28/2020. I don't know. This must be...
That was from last year.
Yeah. Someone's asked a question, the question I just kind of asked.
But that was last year.
That's okay.
I don't know if that's relevant right now.
I don't know. When you go to edit your listing, it will show a bunch of drop-downs, blah, 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 blah. It could help your buyer finding your item if they are using the filters. Do you have to? No. If you're worried, just do a search for your item. If you can find it, then you're fine. Most people will be searching through the title name. I don't normally worry about those filter options. So this is 2020. Around the same time last year.
But now you have to put those in.
Or else what?
But here's the thing. I already put most...
I
don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's a mess.
Because I told you 5 times now. I already put that info in and now they want me to put it in again. So. Well. Alright, we should probably talk about... something better.
Wait till you hear what I have to say about horror hosting.
Like the Mummy and the Monkey's Harry Scary Hangout.
That's right. So, here we go. Let's talk about that. Okay, Mummy and the Monkey business. What we got going on there. We had a really interesting week as we actually did that, participated in the Mid-May Massacre online horror convention this past Saturday. Had a lot of fun. We were a part of a horror host panel that consisted of the person that put it together, David Dasmalchian, who portrayed his horror host creation, Dr. Fearless. And we were accompanied by...
Sven Gulli from MeTV.
Rich Cause, yes.
Rich Cause, as well as Marlena Midnight from Midnight Mausoleum. Oh. Dr. Sarcophagi.
Ooh.
John Dimes, he's really funny.
Yes, he is.
Molvolia, the Queen of Screams.
She's like something anatomical. Go ahead.
She's on YouTube. She, I guess, is like a filmmaker, host. Interesting YouTube stuff.
You have a swollen Molvolia.
And who else? Oh, Mr. Lobo from Cinema Insomnia.
Oh, yeah. And there was Marlena. Is it Marlena?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah. David, or Dr. Fearless, hosted the panel with Sven Gulli.
Yeah.
And I think it was put together very, very professionally, because it was done really nice, and him as his host character kind of broke the ice with everyone. He was making cheesy jokes.
Yeah.
And he would go around and like ask us questions like how we started, things like that. Some basic questions.
Yeah. Well, and if you don't know, David is a Hollywood actor. He acted in he stars in the Ant-Man movies. He's in the WB's Flash.
Yeah, I think he plays Abracadabra on CW's The Flash.
He's the Polka Dot Man in the new Suicide Squad movie.
Yes. Blade Runner. He plays a character in Blade Runner.
The new one that came out.
The new one that came out.
The sequel to the original one.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies and television shows. Yeah. He also has made his own movies, he's working on his own horror film.
And he
another one.
And he also wrote a comic book about a female horror host called Count Crowley. Yeah.
And it's through Dark Horse Comics. So he wrote the story, and the awesome Dark Horse artist, drew it. And it's a great book. It's a great series.
Yeah, I got the graphic novel, and of all the issues that came out, and it's pretty good. We read it a couple months ago, but it's a good read if you haven't read it yet. Pick it up. It's called Count Crowley. Crowley. It's really neat. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. It takes place in the 1980s, and it has a fun retro feel.
Yep. So so we sat around for about an hour talking with basically answering questions. David or Dr. Fearless, I should say, threw out some questions, and we all went around, different orders and answered the questions. Like when was the first time that we came up with our characters? What was that moment like? What our favorite horror movie? Would they ask that question?
No, the fans were asking that. We didn't really get enough time to answer the fan questions who were watching.
We only had a handful of questions
it was like a handful of questions, and there were 7 of us, so we we each had like a couple minutes to talk, and I think it was nice that it seems like everyone had about equal time to discuss, to answer.
Yeah, I didn't get into detail about Grim Gory character because my character. Grim Gory, but I've told that story a lot of times in different ways, and we're gonna have to make it, we're gonna have to put it in a comic book format or something, or a movie or something that really shows the origins of our characters, because we did come up with some stuff about how Janet Decay and Grim Gory became what they are and how they meet up. So
right, but you can only explain so much in like a few minutes or maybe 5 minutes. So we tried to kind of. When we answered, we tried to keep everything kind of simplified and just tried to explain, like the Cliff Notes. Just, explain everything without trying to be like a prima donna and take up all the time.
Right. Anyway, but it was a lot of fun, and I wish we had more time to get more questions from the audience and maybe even talk amongst each other.
Yeah, I think they only allowed an hour for this panel, but it went very well, and the replay of it is on YouTube. If you search Mid-May Massacre, they have the discussion panels on there. There's some nice ones, too. There was one before us that had Joe Bob Briggs. Mm-hmm. From The Last Drive-In, and he's on Shudder, the Shudder channel. They also had Lloyd Kaufman on there from Trauma. And Lloyd's awesome. And they're making a new Toxic Avenger movie. Like Hollywood is paying him, and they're, they're making like a big budget Toxic Avenger movie, which
Debbie Rochon.
Who thought that they'd ever do that?
Well, I mean, the original movie was good enough, I thought. I just like the cheesiness of it. But hey, you know, if they got an idea for a new one, make it.
Hopefully Hollywood doesn't mess it up. But yeah, I do love the indie movies. I do love Toxic Avenger. And yeah, Debbie Rochon, she's a great scream queen, indie movie queen.
Yeah.
She's been in like over 200 movies. Something crazy like that.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Wish it could be longer. And I drew a picture that I held up at the end of Count Crawley and Grim Gorry and Janet Decay kind of teamed up, and he loved it. I held it up, and David broke character for a second. It was kind of funny. He was like, oh, that was freaking awesome. So I'm going to wind up sending this. We're going to send him a little scare package, a Mummy and the Monkey scare package, to David, and let him know they had a good time. He can have the original drawing I did. That's not a problem.
I'll let you put the scare package together.
Yeah.
Because I send out all the fan prizes. When we do our prize drawings every week, I mail out the actual prizes. Yeah. So you could put together the scare package. I trust you.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I wish we could do more stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're hoping maybe we could do a little collab with Dr. Fearless later on, where maybe he could be on our show.
Just went up and, just sort of wrote him back and thanked him for letting us be on, blah, blah. And then asked, too, if he'd be interested in maybe being interviewed or Dr. Fearless being interviewed. And he thinks Dr. Fearless might be up for it, so.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, he seems really nice.
Yeah, he's a big fanboy of horror hosts. He grew up in Missouri. And watched
Cremation Mortem.
Cremation Mortem out there, yeah.
So yeah, he was talking with her too. He got to meet her in person a few years ago.
Right.
He said,
wow.
On that panel. So yeah, that's really cool that she's still around and doing well. Which
is another reason why you should tune into the Mummy and the Monkey's Harry Scary Hangout, because you never know what's going to happen on there. We never know who we're going to interview or what we come up with, what we dig up.
Now, we have to choose a movie for this Friday.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we had a lot of indie filmmakers send us things.
Yeah.
And send us links to their YouTube channels and all that. So there is an indie movie about a warlock and some scary witchcraft demon thing.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's a local filmmaker. So we're thinking of playing that this week along with some other shorts.
Yeah.
And we can break it up probably into a couple parts or a couple farts. And that should be fun as a little break from the regular, of what we play.
I got the munchies. I'm trying to stay
He's getting some snacks.
We're in the kitchen. Can you like the kitchen acoustics?
We're sitting in the kitchen.
I'm digging in a box of Townhouse flip sides because I am just, I don't know.
I'm feeling
some
a little
energy.
peckish too.
What do you want?
It's okay. I already ate popcorn.
Oh my God.
But I'll eat something a little later. I'll figure it out. I had a very light lunch.
I had Wendy's. It was great. I had Wendy's cheeseburger, a single with no onion, fries, and of course you got to dip the fries in the Frosty. So good.
I just ate a little bit of Wendy's, like a small chicken nugget, and like their little apple slices. I ate something small because I thought, well, I'll eat food later when I'm home. Mm-hmm. But we went out today running errands, and we just wanted to eat a little something.
Yeah.
So we're not hungry when we're traveling because sometimes we get hangry.
Yeah, we didn't know. We know we didn't talk about on the first half of the show is a score from today. Got some good stuff, yeah.
Well, maybe we could shoot a video of it or something.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Yeah, why don't you shoot a video of it for YouTube? Because that's better when people can see the items.
Yeah, I know. But theater of the mind.
Oh, we did get permission from another filmmaker, and I need to call him this week, actually. Mm-hmm. We got permission to play his movie, and it involves someone with large feet.
Bigfoot.
It involves a creature with large feet.
Wow.
And we're excited that we're going to be playing that. So if not this month, then probably in June we'll play that movie. And it's actually a really good indie movie, and it was filmed in Mentor, Ohio. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We wanted to set up like an interview and interview him a little bit before we announce that we're going to play that movie, so then we can play the movie with the interview clips.
Yeah. Really beef up the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say about. I had something I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember. But go ahead.
So, yeah, that's what we have. And then this weekend we're going to film some more skits.
Yeah.
We just had a lot going on last weekend, and still, we're trying to get things done here around the house too. I'm trying to update some things here, so it's like painting and installing things and having electric stuff done, and yeah, time consuming.
Yeah, but fun.
But fun, and it's nice to do some updates to our 1950s house.
Yeah.
But
Nobody cares about that.
no one cares about that.
Oh boy! And what else is going on with the Mummy and the Monkey? Well, we talked about
appearances.
the appearances that the Big Bad Bee movie show has been running some repeats lately because they're trying to just kind of fill out the year that they signed up for without doing a new show every week, and for the hosts to get a little bit of a break. But yeah, so that's still going on.
It's like one episode is new, then the next week it's a repeat. It alternates now.
Right, so
according to what they told us recently.
Right.
So yeah, they're going to be playing repeats. The station paid for 1 year of movie packages, and it's only so many movies, so they're trying to stretch out the show and not have to buy another movie package.
Right, because I think technically a season doesn't last a year in TV.
I thought a season was a year.
Well,
and then they did do repeats.
For the year, they will, but you can watch 2 seasons of a show in 1 year. You know what I mean? They'll come out in fall, and then the next one in spring.
So if you're just if you're just new to listening to us, we're content creators for the Big Bad Bee Movie Show on WUAB channel 43 in Cleveland.
Right.
And yeah, we send them comedy skits that they play or like kind of pepper in the show somewhere. And then Leopold and Lenora host the movie, and they do their little shticks. So that's the goings-ons with that.
Yeah.
We did do a radio appearance, and I'm going to have to see if we could share the replay. But last week we were also interviewed by Stephen Ronquil. I think this is in Ronquil from KSDAD. Ronquil from KSDAD Radio. It's a blog talk radio show, and he interviewed us, and it was a little over an hour, and it was nice. We were talking about horror hosts and classic monster movies, and horror conventions, and he knows his stuff. He was very knowledgeable with it.
He was, and it was a pleasure talking to him. And yeah, because when we would start bringing up certain subjects, he would go off and talk about the directors and this and that, and stuff that we weren't aware of. Like, oh yeah, really? But yeah, he knew a lot of stuff and knew his stuff, and that was fun talking with him. Mm-hmm. What else fun, interesting happened in Mummy Monkey Land? I don't know.
Yeah, and then just finding movies.
Struggling, yeah.
We're like both kind of like duh right now.
A little out of it again today.
Yeah. I've been looking up movies for us to play in the future as well. So we have some movies set aside that I think we could play later.
How far in the future? Like 10 years from now?
Maybe in the next couple months.
Oh.
But that may change. It all depends on what we find, how it goes, what you think you could put the sound effects into. Like what you said, movies that have a lot of talking, or movies that are comedies, you said you had more trouble putting sound effects in.
Yeah,
and why is that?
Because it's already funny enough, and when you're like adding, like a lot of my sound effects I could do burps and farts all day with this stuff. Like if someone drinks something, you put a burp in. When someone bends over, or whatever, you put a fart in it. But a lot of the other stuff I use is like answers to questions. Like if someone says, "What are you, crazy?" and then I could put some celebrity or something from. It's like a clip from a TV show or a movie where they go yes or whatever I put in. But sometimes in the comedies, you'll get the answers to the questions and the a lot of the writing is done as call and response. What are you doing here? I'm here. Whatever. But they always set stuff up so it's funny. There's all a bunch of joke setups, and it's hard to put a comment in there that's not going to be the exact same thing the person that they're asking the question says anyway. So it's just tougher.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. The more boring a movie is, the easier just for me to have fun with it. But
so, like when they're just walking through the woods or walking through a room,
what do you do? Yeah.
You add more funny to it,
right? So I'll try to anyway. But yeah, so
Oh, we did do a video for our friend Dino from the Late Horror Show.
Yeah, explain what he was working on.
And I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out. I guess he was working with some other YouTubers on putting together a video about horror movies. So he asked if we could put together a 10-minute video as The Mummy and the Monkey, asking what our favorite horror films were. So my favorite horror film... And it's hard to pick just one because there's so many that I like.
Like a booger.
Not
hard
like
to pick just one.
Not like a booger.
Oh, those are
but I picked Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Because even though I like the classic Universal monster movies, I don't really find them scary. I think the scariest one is probably my favorite, Texas Chainsaw.
And I picked my favorite scary movie. It was called 2021. The year that was 2020. The year that was 2020, I should say.
2020.
Wow, what a scary movie. Oh, that was real life? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we lived a scary movie in all of 2020.
No, in all seriousness, I picked The Exorcist. The original Exorcist movie I love. That's my favorite scary movie.
That is an awesome movie.
Pretty damn good.
And so we explained for, 10 minutes why we chose that and why they're both iconic films.
Right.
So we sent him that video, and we're looking forward to seeing how it turns out or what other YouTubers, what their favorites are.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. And the Late Horror Show, they are our YouTube friends. Dino does a lot with the channel, and his buddy Ted, on top of doing movie reviews and talking about horror films, they also stream almost all the time now those old-timey radio shows.
Yeah, whether it be horror, science fiction,
westerns, detectives,
crazy stuff. Yeah,
they're just streaming all the time, and his channel really built up. He has almost 40,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And we're like trying to, how do we get those? We're trying to figure out how we can get our subscribership up. And I had one idea.
What's that?
So sometimes when we go to flea markets, estate sales, thrift stores, that type of thing, we do find old 8mm home movies. We do find old film. And we did this a few times for YouTube where we hosted these old home movies. And I even made a separate playlist because I want to do more with that. So I'm thinking maybe if I gather more and digitize more of that film, we can host it, have some hosted segments for those, add some fun music that's YouTube friendly, some background music, and then live stream those. Like just let it play for a couple hours, maybe
that's a good idea.
Every so often.
Yeah.
So that's because people like looking up at found film, and when you look at those old home movies, it's like a little blast from the past. To see the old cars and to see how people lived.
It's a bit of a disconnect from what we do as far as horror host goes, but we'll find that thing that kind of make it all blend together.
Yeah, maybe we could find some way to tie it in.
Yeah.
Or use that footage to make a horror film. Like, make a film out of all this weird stock footage. Like Ed Wood style, maybe.
It's a thought. I like that idea. You always come up with some good ideas.
I do. I come up with all these good ideas and then I don't follow through.
Yeah. 40% club.
Yeah.
I know how that is.
It's just tough to work on everything all the time.
But you gotta try.
You do have to keep trying. You do. Appearances. We don't have a lot scheduled for this year. We don't have a lot of events scheduled. Most of them are virtual. I think there's maybe 2 where we're going to be in person. And then there is a cool one. So our the Cleveland Star Trek Club, they are having an event. It was pushed back to September where Uhura will be there. What's the actress's name?
Nichelle Nichols.
Nichelle Nichols. So Nichelle Nichols, this will be her last public appearance, and I think you have to buy tickets in advance to go meet with her and get an autograph.
Yeah.
I think it's online. I'll try to get more information next week for the next podcast. Yeah, if enough people pre-registered, they're definitely going to have the event.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in June.
And it's sunny out there. It was like 80 degrees.
Yeah, it's sunny and 80 degrees.
Go outside and play for a little
Summertime.
But yeah, but we're in here doing a job. No, we're doing the podcast because we love to do it.
We do. And yeah, we're excited about the new Mummy and Monkey stuff and more. So I'm thinking tonight I'll download that movie and we'll sort it out on what we could show for Friday, and then we can make an announcement on our social media.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you guys haven't done so, check out our Facebook page, our Instagram. We're the Mummy and the Monkey on both. And then on Twitter, we're just Mummy and Monkey. I don't go on Twitter as much.
Right.
But we do check it from time to time. And we do have a Twitter account.
Yes, we do. We tweet.
And we usually post on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then if I remember to, I'll put it on Twitter later. So yeah, we'll have updates later on as to what movie it will be.
Yeah, who knows right now. But it's going to be something good, question mark. Smiley face, double horns. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, and this summer we might take a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
a
like
Mummy
the whole
Monkey,
summer.
Not the whole summer. Maybe for like a couple weeks. We haven't decided when yet, but of course we would let you guys know what's going on with the show when we would return live. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just we hope you guys are staying safe out there. We'll probably cut the podcast a little short.
I mean, there's really not a whole... I think we talked about everything
I think so.
that was like important about Mummy
it.
Monkey. We're just plowing along here and trying to come up with some new material, shoot some more skits this week. Gosh darn it. We shot a new Stasha skit last week. Oh boy, did we shoot a new Stasha skit last week. That was... I don't know why it's getting more and more painful, but...
Oh, geez. So that we could talk about. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. It was such a pain in the butt, pain in the dupa, to film the skit last week that we played on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. It was a pothole skit. We did something funny with that, and we were filming outside, and the one morning we were filming some stuff, and the lighting just didn't turn out on the camera. For whatever reason, I don't know if it was the settings or the lighting. I don't know if I pressed something.
Well, it didn't work out. We shot all morning.
We shot all morning, and none of it was usable. So then we had to go back out later that same day to try to refilm those scenes. And it just seemed like the skit that was never ending. It just took a while for us to get it actually filmed and to make sure that the video was okay to use. So I'm learning... We're both learning as we go. And when you're shooting outside, when you're shooting video outside, it's too many variables with the lighting. And if you film in the morning and then if you film in the evening, the light is going to look completely different.
Well, anyway. Some of it's, user error, and some of it's, knowing what to do with the camera. But... Anyway, we figured out stuff, so
we're learning the settings.
It ultimately turned out fine, so
yeah.
And we got more to shoot, so we'll be working on that stuff this week. Can't wait.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. As Janet Decay would say, good night, good fright.
And as Grim would say, see you later, alligators.
Mwah.